Hey YouTube, want to talk to you guys today a little bit about heavy doubles versus heavy singles, or heavy doubles and heavy triples versus heavy singles. So the theory goes that when you're trying to gain strength, all right, you don't want to be doing sets of 10, sets of 20, right? Because that's not the most ideal way for getting your central nervous system involved for heavy loads and overloading the muscle and getting specific muscle fibers recruited that are needed for heavy lifting, right? It's a different game squatting 315 for 10 versus 500 pounds for a single or a double, right? Different muscles, different central nervous system adaptation. So, why would we want to do heavy doubles or heavy single, or sorry, heavy doubles or heavy triples versus doing a heavy single if the mark of strength happens to be what your one rep max is? Why wouldn't we just always be doing like heavy singles to get our central nervous system like get going and whatnot? So this advice is actually pilfered from Mark Smelly Bell, Jim McD, and Silent Mike. But per their own theory, if I give them credit for it twice, it then becomes mine, and I can just give this advice out willingly. So there's the credit to them. Let's talk about why we might want to do this. So let's say you go to the gym. All right, well, hell, I'll use myself as an example. I go to the gym and I'm going to do back squats, right? And I go to do something that's 90 to 92% of my one rep max, and I'm going to do a double. I might go in the gym, unrack the bar, and I hit it, and all of a sudden I can do like 4 or 5 and go, well, where the hell did that come from? And you're like, wow, that was awesome. I can't believe I did that. Like, I was only prescribed to hit 2, but I hit 5. Cool. Maybe I can even add a little weight to the bar that day. I do believe in instinctive training. When you go to the gym and your game's on, take advantage of that day. Don't just hit, like, if you're going for a double and you hit 4, maybe add a little bit of weight. You might be able to do it, right? Versus, like, say there are times that I've gone to the gym and I've gone to do my prescribed double, and I get through the first rep and I'm like, oh, there is no way I'm getting this for another rep, and I just rack the bar because it's just like there's no point. I know my body. I've been training long enough that I know when I'm gonna go, when the bars get like with the back squat, if I go down, I'm just not coming up, right? But if I had had a heavy single on and I went to do that on that same day, I might not have come out of the hole and I might have pancaked myself. So even when you're off your game, like seriously off your game, you haven't eaten enough, you're not sleeping, you didn't sleep very well, you're run down from the day, most of us can hit at least one single at 90% of our run rep max, right? So if you go for a weight that you can do a double at, or you should be able to do a double at, and you only hit a single, you can just be like, oh, nope, this ain't going, like rack the bar, play it safe. You still gotta single at 90% of your one rep max or 92% of your one rep max. You don't have to feel bad about yourself. You still moved weight, but you didn't hurt yourself, and you know that was it. That's all you could do. But like, let's take bench press. Good example, bench press. Right now at 220, my max is 405. I do 376 pounds. 377 for a heavy double on my on my bench day. I don't really have a heavy bench day. I just have a bench day. Hi, buddy. So I'll go and I'll unrack 377, and I go down, touch my chest, pause, and I go up. I'm gonna know if I can do a second one, right? Sometimes that's just too heavy, so I'll rack the bar. Sometimes I'll go for a double. Maybe, rarely, I might go for a triple, right? But you just know that, like, I know I can hit 377 for a single. Like, even fucking if I haven't slept for 24 hours, sorry for the language, I've been told by people that I need to swear less. Even if I haven't like slept well, I know I can hit that for a single, right? It's just above 90% of my one rep max. Just slightly, it's like 92, right? So that's the theory, guys. Super simple, right? If you and also you only have so many singles in your body, right? It is like super stressful on your system to go for a one rep max when you're just giving it 100%, everything's on. Well, to do that all the time for one rep maxes, that's tough. And if you're slightly off your game, that heavy single that you think is only like 95% of your one rep max might actually be heavier than you can do that day. But that 90% might feel like 95, 98, and you're okay. So heavy doubles and heavy triples can still help you gain massive amounts of strength. If you do a back squat at 405 and you do a double, and you're like, yep, that was easy, and you go up to like 410 the next week and you do a double, and you're like, well, that was easy too. Let's keep this train going. But if you go to like 410 and you hit a single, well, now you know that you got to concentrate around that weight and start making yourself stronger. You will get stronger with doubles, right? You will get stronger with triples. You'll still get stronger with a 5x5 program. But going for broke every time on a single, when that day in your training might be too much, you're just asking to hurt yourself. And if you go to lift and it's just not your day, and you're like, no, I got to do it. I have to do a single today. And you go down and you blow something out, and now you can't lift for 9 months. What was the point in that, right? Now you're behind the 8 ball on your training. So heavy doubles and heavy triples might be a better idea for you for the longevity of training. If you're not an Olympic athlete, if you're not an elite level power lifter, save your heavy singles for when you really want to test it, when you're going to step on you're going to go to a meet or something to compete. Other than that, why risk it, right? I mean, I do heavy singles to test my 1 rep max every like 3 to 4 months. That's what I do. But then now in my training, I'm doing heavy doubles and heavy triples, and my 1 rep max still goes up, right? Like it has been going up with my training, doing heavy doubles and heavy triples. I do heavy doubles for 3 months, and I add 10, 20, well, no, not 20, add 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds to a lift, right? If I can double that, odds are I'm going to have added about 15 pounds to my 1 rep max, most likely, right? Because if I can do a double at 15 pounds heavier, I should at least be able to add 15 pounds to my 1 rep max. So you're going to gain strength. You're going to put less stress on your joints. Also, doing a heavy double or a heavy triple is so much easier on your joints than a heavy single, right? I mean, your max is 405 for the bench. You unrack 365 pounds or whatever 90% is. That's a lot easier on your joints than unracking 380, right? Especially if you start to stress, your elbows get out of position and everything goes to pot. So that's my advice to you guys. Once again, previous credit to those over at the Powercast for having this advice. They repeat it all the time, and it's brilliant advice. I highly recommend it for anybody. If you're doing like a Wendler 531, I do quite like Wendler 531. I've been doing it for years. I've modified it to a 532. I know a lot of guys that do heavy doubles and heavy triples for strength gains that compete. I got a buddy that's Jim Acquaintance. Call him a Jim Acquaintance. Really nice guy. Going to nationals this year for powerlifting, and he rarely does anything over a double or a triple with his training. Like, you'll never see him go for a single unless he's testing it every 3 to 4 months, which is how often you should test your 1 rep max. Give your joints a break, give your body a break, get strength going. We're just doing heavy doubles, heavy triples versus singles, guys. That's the theory, that's the practice, a little bit of experience. It works for me, and you're saying, Mark, nobody asked your opinion, and I realize that. However, having said that, take it with a grain of salt. Give it a try. Talk to people that are better looking than me, better shape, stronger than me, and see if they agree. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. That's the beauty of this world. Anyways, post questions and comments down below, guys, and as always, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.